Welcome guys, we're back in sunny Tasmania. We are working on the Troopy. It's beautiful here. I got my t-shirt on, got my shorts on, also my Ugg boots and my beanie. Guys, if you've seen what's been going on our YouTube recently, you know that we've just been on a huge trip in the Troopy. So we left here, Hobart, and went up to Melbourne, did a heap of work on the Troopy, went up to Sydney four-wheel drive show, Moreton Island, and then across the desert and to Adelaide, and now we're home. And that was about an 8-week trip for us. Also, that was the first trip that we ever did in the Troopy. So you could pretty much call that a shakedown trip. And now that it's back, it's time to fix everything. But in this episode, we're not only just gonna be working on this, I got a surprise for you. We're gonna be working on that as well. So this bad boy is gonna have a big part in the channel over the next month or so. But first, we gotta get the Troopy ready. And there's a few things we need to do to get this thing ready for a Tassie summer. Now, what are they, you ask? Installing a winch, a new head unit, an electric hot water unit, fixing a big issue with our tent, heaps of other random bits, like this. And later on in the video, we're gonna be swapping an axle out on the boat trailer and making a beach launch wheel from scratch. Trailer third wheel. So stick around for that. Anyway, let's get back in the garage. I've only got 1 week until we leave on a big trip and it's all gotta be done. So let's go. Alrighty guys, time to work on the Troopy. I've cleaned the garage out. The car does still not fit in here, which is a shame. I mean, I know you guys are probably looking at this thinking, oh, that's not clean. Well, it's not, is it? But I've just moved some shit to the side. Out of sight, out of mind, I'll always say. This morning, I am tackling the hot water unit. So, I've already got the hot water unit mounted in here. This is I don't know what this is. How do you say that? Duetto or Duetto? However you guys feel like saying it. It's a 10-litre electric hot water unit. Now, if you guys had seen my previous videos, you'll know that what I used to do was run an instantaneous gas unit out here. So cold water would come out into the gas unit, do magic, and then come backwards and then go in. So that would then go into the Troopy and come out here. Our nice little shower we've got going on here. You see, the problem with that, every time I wanted to use hot water, I would have to get the hot water unit out. I never had anywhere to mount it, so I was just sort of like strapping it up. The gas bottle I had to store in here, so I had to bring a gas bottle with me. We didn't have any other gas cooking, so the gas bottle was literally just for hot water. It was just too hard, we didn't use it. So we're switching it up. All right, I've made it here before accessible to get to my plumbing. Now I know it's a mess in here. As always, it's a mess behind the walls. But as you can see here, I've run everything in trade pecs, which was a really good idea at the time. And look, I still think that it is a good idea. But I've had a revelation. You see, it's easy because I'm a plumber and I've got all the tools here to do that kind of stuff. Now, the problem, I know there should never be a problem. There should never be a leak. But the thing is, if I want to change anything when I'm out somewhere, if something fails and I want to fix it, I'll need the correct tool to do crimping, or like to join onto it or anything. I need that tool. And I'm not just going to carry around like a crimper with me everywhere just in case something happens. We are going to leave everything there, but from now on when I add stuff in, I'm going to use things that I could get anywhere, aka flexi hoses. So we're going to use these stainless steel flexi hoses to do everything from now on. Now, when I used to plumb, if I would ever get a call for a leak in a kitchen, it was always flexi hoses. They burst. Like they're not that robust. They're a replaceable item. Like you should replace them every 10 years. But I can get a flexi hose anywhere. So it's easier for me to do everything in flexi hoses. And then if I need to, anywhere around the world will have a 1/2-inch flexi hose. So that's what I'm doing. And the thing is, most of the time, the problem with the flexi hoses is that they're rubbing somewhere or they're kinked and it makes them weak and all that kind of stuff. So if I use correct routing methods and not too tight bends and make sure nothing's going to move, they should last longer than this fit out. Well, that makes it a lot easier to be in here. I literally mounted that in here last night with the roof down. You know what happens? I keep listening to podcasts and then I'm just daydreaming and then I have pulled the fridge out, so this front section's off. That's pushed out of the way. Just gotta do a bit of plumbing and we'll hook this thing up. Okay, so this is something that I've been wanting to try for a very long time. I've noticed that this part of the tent here can go back heaps further. Like it could be able to tilt right up to the back of the tent here and give us heaps more headroom in here, and that this is too short. So I've adjusted this gas strut to its like prime position of where it can get the most length, but I just still can't get it to go back any further. I just went to Bunnings and just got the most close to, but a little bit longer measured gas strut. See, it's only this much longer. So I'm hoping that I can chuck this gas strut in. I only bought one just to test it out and put it right down here and here, and that should push this over, give us a bit more headroom. Anyway, enough talking, let's do this. Alrighty, I just installed it. Just put the one gas strut in. It is pushing up against the back of the tent. It's a bit annoying. What I'm gonna do is just put some foam tape on here so when it's sitting on the tent there, it doesn't sit so much, doesn't push against the tent so much. But there is so much more room in here. So before, like if I stood here, where I am now, I've now got all of this room. Before, if I was standing here, this would be there. So like my shoulder couldn't be here. I could never stand back this far, which is crazy. And I've also just only gone for one gas strut rather than having the second one over here. So I'll keep these gas struts and I'll do something about it. But right now, this works mint. Stays down, does its thing. I only need a little bit of a push and she's back up. That's given me so much room. It's crazy. Anyway, back to trying to get this hot water going. Okay, so it's been a few days since I've installed the hot water system. And I just thought I'd let it run for a bit before I spoke to you guys about it, just to make sure it's all good. I figured out how it works. So this unit runs on 12 volt and 240 as well. Pretty much at all times, you can control it with this little panel here. You can get like a controller for it, but I didn't go for that. Too expensive. There's a little controller here. You can see it's at 52 degrees. Now, when you're storing water, like in a hot water storage tank, you should always store water at around 60 degrees or above. Just because when it's stored at like below 50 degrees, it can, like bacteria can grow in the tank, so it needs to be stored above. I've just got it turned down to 50 at the moment just to test it out really, because I just wanted to see what it'd do. But it's been on for 3 days now and the Troopy's just sitting here. I'm not really driving it. Well, I actually haven't driven it because I lost the keys, but we'll get to that. And the solar is keeping it charged. So we've got two 150 watt panels on the roof and it hasn't really been very sunny. But this thing is using no power at all to keep like this tank warm. Obviously when I'm using it, it's going to use power because then it's going to heat the water up. Like it's just keeping the water at the temperature. But I think that's pretty good that it's nice and insulated and it's keeping it warm. And all I need to do is turn the inverter on. You use this dial on the front to control it when it's on 240 and like I said, the side one. And you've got a switch here to turn the 240 on and off. So when the inverter's on, it comes on, and then I've just got to reach in here, flick it on to hook it to 240. So when it hooks on a 240, it uses about 80 amps an hour. A fair bit, but it warms up really quick, like 10 minutes. So that'll be really good for when we want to sort of shower back to back. But yeah, it all worked out fine. I've got to cover these up at one point. I just put some T's here and I need to put brackets and stuff in here, but I'm just testing it out first to see how it goes. Now I don't even have to worry about setting anything up. All I have to do is just stand our tap up. Hot now. That's how long it takes for hot water to come through. How good's that? Barely anyone. Ow, that hurts. How good's that? The pump does take a lot longer to build up pressure now, which is a bit annoying. The pump itself is actually not that loud, but it's funny, in the videos, it sounds a lot louder. Now, one of the biggest problems with that is because the pump itself is mounted right here and it's pushed up against this panel here. It's got insulation wrapped around it, but it sort of like reverberates on this, which sort of sucks, but I mean, you can't do anything about it, can you? Well, I mean, I could put it in a different spot, but it's not that bad. Anyway, next mod. It's a beautiful day, well, to take the winch out of this Hilux and put it in this car. Anyway, you guys, this morning I'm gonna pull the winch out of Hilux and put it in here. I know that that's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. It sucks. Look, you know, there's no other explanation. It just sucks. But the Troopy needs a winch. And this winch is brand new. I only put this in the Hilux probably 2 or 3 months ago, and I've used it once. So I may as well put it in the Troopy. It's sad though, isn't it? Robbing Peter to pay Paul, hey? All right, guys. Like I said before, it sucks taking the winch out of the Hilux. But I can't drive 2 cars at once. And the Troopy is going to see a lot more action than the old Hilux for the moment. The winch that we're swapping over is a fiery red 13,000 pound from Vic Off-Road and should be perfect for the Troopy. To be honest, 13,000 or 6 ton actually, let's just say 6 ton. We're in Australia, aren't we? It's probably a little bit of overkill for the little Hilux anyways. Let's just think of the positives, yeah? Alrighty, that's the Hilux unwinchified. Time to chuck the winch into the Troopy. It was so easy with this Cruiser Company bar. Everything lined up perfectly and there's heaps of room in there as well. I love our bull bar, don't get me wrong, it's so good because we can put a winch and stuff in here. But it looks so sick without one as well. Looks so sick. Looks massive, doesn't it? I'm thinking maybe they've designed this bar to fit a high mount winch. Not sure though. Anyways, time to re-spool this thing. Oh, just like that rain feels so funny. It's hailing. Alrighty, we got him on. Got the fair lead on. It's all in here. I probably could have cleaned it up, but we'll do that at another point. But we're winched up. All winched up, you know? Anyway, I just got to tighten this bull bar up. As you can see, it's sort of laying forward a bit. But that's on my job now. That's the boring part. And also wiring. This car has factory dual batteries, but the only thing I have running off this is the central locking, and there's one little USB port down the back that I can't get to. So I'm actually thinking about deleting this, getting rid of this battery and mounting a compressor here. I was sort of thinking to myself, oh, it'd be nice to have a safety battery just in case something went wrong. But I mean, how many safety things can you have, you know? It's almost like having a winch, except that the winch actually makes you get home. All right, guys. So I got the winch on, but when I used it last time, I've ruined it. Anyway, what's happening is it's jammed in here. You can see that. It's gone through, so I've got it on free spool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chuck it on here, on the Hilux. And I'm just gonna stretch it out. So we'll just make sure the Hilux has the handbrake and everything on. In gear, I might even, sometimes I like to put it in low range, it doesn't pull as, it's harder for it to pull when it's off. Alright, so I'm just gonna pull this back in. Need to try and set it up with a bit of tension, so I'll keep doing that. You guys ever have a remote control car? Just a quick one. If you guys could hit the hype button for us, that would be amazing. It really helps our channel out. Well, I've got one. A big thanks to everyone who hyped our last video. We made it to number 46 on the leaderboard. You guys are the best. Should I say, let's see how high up we can get this time? Okay, so what happened to this stereo? So I got this bad boy on Amazon ages ago. Anyway, what happened was when we got the roof conversion done, we had to cut along the top of the windscreen here, as you can see, just along there. And what happened, the vibration from cutting it made the windscreen leak. Our first night on our trip away, it rained, water came in through here, fell onto our stereo, and now, when it turns on, as you can see here, it's dark on one side. See all that? Like, that's not the stereo's fault, is it? It's not, it's a fault that it's, oh, we're playing music, woo! How do I turn that down? Anyway, it's not its fault. They're obviously not supposed to be waterproof. And it looks pretty good right now in the camera, but when you're like this and that's like half of the map, it's very annoying. It actually looks perfect on camera, but for me, I can barely see that blue square there. Like, it's incredibly dark. And so when we go into reverse, which you guys can probably see pretty well here, but I can't see anything in this corner here. It's really annoying. So that brings us to what's happening. It's time to fix this thing. Okay, so I've obviously got our stereo here, which is cool, the Atoto X10. And then what I've always wanted as well, because when you're off-road in the Prado, having a forward-facing camera is so good, like when you're coming up to obstacles, especially because the car is so high, and it's hard to see over the bonnet. Now I know how close I can get to things at the front, and a new one at the rear. Hopefully high-quality footage for us to see. But let's have a look in here and see what we got. Oh my lord, it's massive. Let's pull the old one out and then we can compare them. This bad boy is actually very easy to pull out. So, that worked. Here's the old unit. Here's our old Atoto. So this one was, however this much was on Amazon, but I had to buy a camera from Super Cheap Auto, which was like an extra 70 bucks on top. So that's how much that one cost. And here's our new one. I'd actually say the screen size is very similar. This has a bigger, like, bezel on the outside. So now installing the unit, which was pretty easy because I'd stuck with the same brand. I just had to run new wires for the forward and reverse cameras. We loved the last stereo and only chose to upgrade this time to gain a few new features, which I'll run you through in a second. Alrighty, this is the best part, isn't it? It does not fit the car at all, does it? Look how shiny that thing is. It's like a flipping iPad on here. Alright guys, welcome to the cockpit of the Troopy. I've got it all in, but now I can show you why this specific stereo is so good. I have a fair few like Bluetooth controlled things in this car. For example, the fridge. I've got the Evercool app on this and I can search for the unit. We found it. So now I've paired with the fridge. I can now go onto the fridge here and turn the fridge on or off, up or down, or whatever temp I want it to be on, which I think is pretty cool. So the fridge is off right now, but that's pretty sick. So I used to have that app on my phone. It's quite hard for us to reach the fridge in the position it is in, but being able to do this and then I can check on it at all times as well. Now, I've also got the iTech World app, which is cool. This app is, I'm guessing the iTech world haven't really made it for tablets, and I understand why. You can sort of search up here, like I can see what our battery's at, and I can see, you know, obviously it's not very sunny at the moment, but we're bringing in 6 amps. It's not as user-friendly on here, but at least it still works, you know? And I've also got this app which turns on the rock lights around the car, so I can change whatever color I want. And it's just all here, so like all in my screen. So previously our old unit was just flat and forward, and like when the sun and stuff was on it, it was quite hard to see. Now Lil can move it to her side and she can use it, and then I can move it to my side and use it. Also, which is cool, I've got front camera now, so I can see on the ground, and then I can also play this and then have full all-time rear camera, which I'm really looking forward to. Unfortunately, the rear camera's not working at the moment. I don't know whether it was me that damaged the cable or something, but the cable is not working at the moment. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay guys, so before we move on to the boat part of the video, there's a few extra mods that I've been doing that I want to fill you guys in on. I didn't realize that I hadn't told you guys about our new bench top. So this thing's new because if you've been watching for a while, you know that I stuffed up where we put the tap last time. So when I built this interior, I didn't know what it was going to be like with the roof conversion. I built it before the roof conversion. And I didn't realize there'd be this lip here that comes in, which it makes sense now, like the bed's got to sit on something. But I actually ended up putting the tap up here and it wouldn't work, so I had to drill a new hole for one when we were away. So there was a hole in the bench top. And then also, again, I didn't realize that this would be here. So I ended up with the sink right over here. So I built this new bench top with my mate Jackson when we were in Adelaide, and we moved the sink over. We also moved, this was centered on the bench. I've now moved it out so you can get to it. One of the biggest problems is we've got a drawer here, so I could only move everything this far. What would have been better would to be have this out here and the sink out here, but without changing way too much stuff, this is just the best I've come up with. But you know what? It works really well. And I just recently varnished all this, so it's all sealed up and ready to go. And I actually really love the look of it. Anyway, next mod. Hazel. Hello. Hey, come here. All right, guys. Hazel's here. If you've been missing her, she's here. She's loving being home. So the next mod, guys, this has to be one of my favorite mods that we've done so far. Actually, before we get to that, a couple of people asked, they thought we got new wheels, but we actually got a chrome fake beadlock ring. Sorry, not chrome, that's machined. But here is the original beadlock ring that we were running. So as you can see, there's a lip there, whereas this one doesn't have a lip, so the tire goes up. This is still not a beadlock wheel yet. I'll be putting these on when it needs to be beadlocked. I wasn't certain on the look with the chrome ring before, but now I'm sort of set on it. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think. But back to what we're here for. These little bad boys. Well, you guys know that we've always got these iCheck tire pressure monitors, but I recently got these from this new brand called iThrottle. So these are a tire deflator that stay on at all times. So even if you want to take this off, for example, they stay on there. Now, I need to get a shorter valve to pull this tire deflator back because it hangs out the side of the wheel, but I haven't got around to that yet. Anyway, rather than a traditional tire deflator, which you just set and clip on, which I still have and are still amazing, these are like a quick deflate valve. So all I need to do now, rather than having to unscrew, put anything on, carry anything with me, all I do is I just come up, pull that, and these deflate incredibly quick. Now you can see my tire pressure monitor's going off. So I can just see that's on 37. All I do is just and this goes down like crazy fast. Like, I can just see it dropping now. Anyway. So now we can see this, well, it says it's on 4 now, but so it's reset. Now we're on 28. But that's pretty cool. So I can just use my little tire pressure monitor here and this and just let them down. And then obviously you just unscrew it and pump it up. Pretty sick. Now the next cool thing I've got going on here is this little thing, which is the iThrottle screen. This is the same brand that did the tire deflators. Anyway, this is like pitch and roll, so you can see how far you're moving across, so you know when you're going to roll or not, or if you're upside down as well. This thing, which is an altimeter, which is so cool. Also battery voltage, that's connected to the second battery so that I know what the voltage is going on with that and whether it's charging or not, which is very interesting. Compass, obviously, and the best thing is our speed. So that's got kilometers an hour on there. If I want to, I can change it to miles an hour. So now, if I want, I can have miles an hour. If, for example, I wanted to go to a different country that used miles per hour, I could then use this. Now back to kilometers an hour. But as you guys have probably seen, the Troopy's on a slightly bigger tire than what comes with the car. So the speedo's a little bit out. But now, this is GPS, so I know exactly how fast I'm going. GPS, so I can't get pulled over. Plus the miles an hour thing is really sick. That, for someone with running big tires on their car, that is a must. This little screen, that's sick. Hazel just said to me, if you guys want a discount, you can use our code Lil Jake. And that helps us out, doesn't it, Hazel? Hazel, look at me. Look at me. Yeah, it does help us out, doesn't it? And it helps you guys out too, because you get a discount. So, it's win-win. Wetsuits. So, the biggest job we have is making this trailer off-road capable within a week, plus all the other jobs we have to do. So, let me show you my plan. Oh my God, now I'm looking at this. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but yeah, this is my plan. It's not as easy as bolt and go. So I have a few options. One, just take this hub off and then replace it with a 6-stud hub. That is hoping that this is a Ford style bearing and I can replace it with a hub with a Ford style bearing, and the stub on the trailer will work, if that makes sense to a few of you. It's taken me a lot of research to make sure that this is gonna work. I still don't know if it's gonna work. But yeah, basically put a 6-stud hub on there so that it allows this wheel to bolt on. This is a spare tire for the Prado. I do have some 6-stud 4-wheel drive wheels downstairs, but they don't have great tires on them. And where I wanna go, I really wanna rely on my tires. So I want some good ones. I don't know if I bolt a hub on this, whether I'm gonna have enough width to clear a tire. So first off, I've got to measure that to even see if this is even possible. Next thing we're gonna do, you can see that the axle is mounted underneath the leaves here. So what we'll do is we'll put the axle below here so that it will then be mounted underneath, and that will give us, that's gonna give us a fair bit of lift so the boat sits up higher. We'll then more than likely have to space these guards up, but we can do that. They can come right up. There's a fair bit of room here, so hopefully we can move them up so that then we can fit this tire in. Then our next dilemma is this boat then is going to be really high off the ground. It's really easy to launch now because we're only like not very far from here to there, so you can back it up in the shallow water and get it off. That's not going to be a possibility anymore because it's going to be so high off the ground. But we need it to be high off the ground so that we can go off-road. The next trick I have up my sleeve is I'm going to get rid of this tire and hopefully mount a hub here. So I'll put a stub axle out and a hub, and the spare tire will sit there with a whole nother like hub bearing assembly on there and spin. And what will happen then is I'll be able to get to the beach, for example, get rid of the jockey wheel. You can imagine this tire sitting here at the front like that. I can sit it on that, it'll be on those 3 wheels, and we'll be able to push it into the water, disconnected from the car. Run a strap from the car to here, slide this as far as you want into the water at the beach, just push it in by hand, strap, car, pull the trailer back out. Again, when you're going to pick the boat up, just push the trailer in by hand, load it up with a winch, strap, back to the beach, hook up. I mean, it sounds simple, doesn't it? Also, the beauty of having a hub on the front here means that if I do a bearing on one of the trailers, I have a full hub bearing stub all here ready to go. So that's a bonus. All right, so less explaining, more doing. Let's measure this axle and see if it's even possible to use this, or we're gonna be building a whole new axle. Well, that one measurement cost us a lot more money. I'm gonna have to build a whole new axle. Okay guys, this is the solution I've come up with. We've got these tires now. These are off my old Colorado. I really wanna run these tires, but they're just not gonna fit in between the guard here, which is sad, because I just thought that'd look so sick on this. But the thing is, it means that I'd have to keep swapping them back off the Prado every time we went home, and then we'd swap them back over, and it'll just be a whole thing. So I think we'll try and go with these now. I mean, I know they're better being an aluminium rim for going in the water, but it would look cool with like a black sunny or something on it. And I have 4, so that works out. So I've got only 1, 2, 3, but these do fit in between the gap here. So now I've just got to measure the axle to fit this offset, and then we'll jump in the car and go and get some hubs and all that kind of stuff. Alrighty, we are back from the trailer shop. There's like only one trailer shop in Hobart. So I was gonna build my own axle, but whoa, so heavy. This axle was $90 and it's already to length. How crazy is that? Feels like it's solid, like solid bar. How sick's that? Oh, look at that though, it's covered in grease. And then I've got 3 hubs and a stub, and it was 290 bucks. I know that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but now I'm gonna have off-road trailer. So these are the hubs, like a 6-stud hub. They're just painted, so they're probably gonna go rusty being a boat trailer. Like, you really want galvanized. But let's rip this axle out and start mounting a new one. Cool. Oh God, this one's heavier. Oh, that's an axle. Always put the wheel nuts back on here so we don't lose them. Look at me now. I just built the inside of a Troopy. Now I'm building a trailer. What do you think is next? Caravan? So bearing in there, and that's on there. Bit of WD-40 in there. Alrighty, oh my God, that's heavy. Let's get this one out of the way. And we've got a new axle in here. I haven't tightened the wheel bearings up yet, so I'll just bolt this up here for now. Yes, it's all gonna work, it's all gonna work. It's all gonna work. So I'll just loosely bolt this plate on top. Alrighty, put this one on maybe. Baby Jesus, that it's gonna fit. Talk about clearance, guys. We're really pushing boundaries here at Lil and Jake garage. We've got the wheel on. This concerns me. This part here, very concerning. I want to cut any of this trailer up, but I'm this far already, you know? Like I'm so far into this. If I cut the back out of this guard here, it will go. Let's bolt the other wheel on first and we'll see how it sits. Because I think it's gonna sit really high, which is good because I want it to sit high. Like this is for off-road. When I'm talking off-road, like different off-road, I'm not building this for corrugations. I know it's not gonna handle corrugations. It's built for high clearance, like slow, off-road. You'll see in the video. If you wanna see how this goes, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Last night, I got our wheels fitted up. We're going with these wheels now because they're the ones that work the best. I was gonna go with them. Alloy is definitely a better wheel for a boat trailer. So we got our 2 wheels mounted up. The boat is sitting a lot higher now, which is great. It's definitely gonna be hard to get off the trailer with how high it is, but it's great. So before, where the boat sat, the motor here, when it comes straight down, if the jockey wheel wasn't right down, this motor would be on the ground. And right now the jockey wheel, if you can see that, but the jockey wheel, as bent as it is actually at like full extension. So now we've got heaps of clearance. So all I got to do is just try and fit these guards back over here. And yeah, she's up, she's off-roading. Now the next thing I need to do is mount this wheel here. So I've got a hub on an axle here that I'm gonna try and mount around here somewhere. Now you can get those proper wheels that like flick out and go down. They're just basically on one of these. So imagine the wheel is sitting up on this with the axle here. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it would be here. And then you flick this round, spin it round, and then the wheel comes down, the center of the wheel, obviously. And then you can have your wheel down and then it comes up out of the way. Now, problem with that is that they're about $200. So I'm thinking about making my own. All right, guys, it's time to make this swing away, drop down wheel carrier. This is a jockey wheel. I paid like 70 bucks or something for this one. I've got this old jockey wheel setup that I've got going on here. So my plan is that I'm gonna cut this jockey wheel off here, and then I'm going to use this mounting bracket for my drop down wheel carrier. Alrighty guys, this is the moment you've been waiting for. Oh, you know what? Oh. Lift with your back, guys. Save your knees. I see what's happening. Nobody stress out. Nobody stress out. I'll just tighten up. Wow. You know what though? While I was doing all this, I thought this might have been above my pay grade. It's actually working. So I know this is a bit shitty where I have to get to this, but I guess that's what happens when you save money. And I don't really plan on this, you know, doing this all the time. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on that there. See, like it's, but this is only like, you know, it's only just pushing and pulling the boat in. I'm not driving down the road. Like it's only just to get you there. I mean, that's as much weight as that's gonna be on the boat anyway. There's not crazy amount of weight on it. I'm pretty impressed with my skills. All right, guys. Trailer third wheel. Come on, you got to be impressed, don't you? Just drop him straight in the water. Well, there's a fair bit of flex on it. That's all right though. I mean, that's to be expected. It's only just for getting on and off. I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, we still have the jockey wheel for normal, and this is only for emergency use, really. But that's pretty sick. Okay, everyone, we are done. Well, for now. But how good. I'm just loading everything up to go on our trip. So if you guys want to see us take this tinny, we're going to go down the river to Bruny Island. So if you guys want to see Bruny Island, make sure you subscribe because that'll be next week's episode in this setup. How good's it looking? I'm a bit disappointed we didn't get the big wheels on here, but you know what? These will work fine. We're gonna see how the Troopy goes with the non-turbo 1HZ with all this extra weight. I mean, we added a fair bit, didn't we? We added the winch. We've now got an extra 10 litres of water because we've got a hot water unit. So there's more weight there. This boat's not, it's not that light. Although it's not that heavy either. But I'm excited. So I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Your support means everything. Promise there's a trip video next week. Get excited for it. Bye.